Today, I'm going to be breaking down how this one YouTube video with 300 views made me $5,000 and the entire three-step funnel behind it, plus 4 action steps that you can take today, right now, in order to start converting leads just like this on your own. Now, first of all, I want to talk about what this funnel looks like for me and what it could look like for you. I personally use this three-step funnel, which includes top of funnel as Instagram, middle of funnel as YouTube, and bottom of funnel as your custom landing page where leads come to apply, book calls, and just take the next step towards buying whatever your product may be. But first, let me make something very clear. I'm not just doing this for myself. I have done this for all of my clients. I've worked with tons of people, and here are some of the dashboards of those clients. So you can see it's not just me. We've got 165K here, 52K MRR, 145 grand plus 20, and then a 76K period. Now, these are the same funnels, the same systems, the same strategies that I'm about to break down in this video. And I've used them to generate over $850,000 in the last year and a half of owning this business for clients. Now, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and get into the 3-part funnel breakdown, and we're going to start with top of funnel. Now, my top of funnel is Instagram, specifically Instagram Reels. You can see I use this one as an example. I got around 1,100 views. Now, that's not a lot, but that is a good amount and enough to start converting some leads into high ticket clients. Okay, so we start with IG Reels. I attach a mini chat automation to it where they comment a keyword. And then with that keyword, they're going to be sent a DM that looks something like this, right? And inside this DM, they're getting sent to a YouTube video. So very top of funnel is short form. I'm talking Instagram Reels, TikTok, quick breakdown videos. And later in the video, I'm going to break down a very specific strategy on how to use short form in your top of funnel to grow the most while also growing with monetization in mind. But for those of you that haven't used ManyChat before, it's very simple to set up, very simple to do a comment CTA the way I did here. And I will say it is a great way to boost engagement on your posts because you get more comments, which boosts the algorithm and you get more views. Now, your top of funnel is the one that you want to grow the fastest and the largest on social media. And so I put together a very simple growth strategy that you can follow here. And what people get wrong a lot of the time with top of funnel is targeting their ICP instead of their dream follower. And what I mean by this is obviously you probably know who your ICP is. You know the exact type of person that you want to sell your high ticket product to. And so your first thought is, okay, let me make videos on Instagram that target those types of people. But what you need to do instead is take a broader approach and do your dream follower, which will include your ICP, but it's larger so you can grow faster, get more views, and get more engagement. Now, if that doesn't make total sense, let me give you an example to kind of clarify. My ICP is business owners who are also content creators looking to launch or scale high ticket info products. However, my dream follower is just business owners or entrepreneurs in general. By targeting my dream followers on Instagram, TikTok, any other short form platforms, I'm able to generate more views, more followers, and connections while still reaching my ICP because my ICP will always be inside of the dream following, like you can see here. So that's the basic breakdown for top of funnel. Now let's tackle middle of funnel, which for me is my YouTube channel, what you're watching right now. I've created a very micro niche, small YouTube channel that talks about operating, high ticket offers, and how to scale them. And that's not by accident, okay? I've created this specifically for my ICP. So unlike Instagram, where I'm targeting a dream follower, YouTube is only for my ICP. Right? If you're watching this, I would hope that you're either an operator or a content creator and business owner that has or wants to launch a coaching agency. So just to be clear, the goal with your YouTube channel isn't to go viral. It's not to get 1 million subscribers in the YouTube play button. It's to create very highly nurturing and converting YouTube videos. So what I've written out here is that the goal is to nurture your ICP, provide social proof, real value, and never waste time with fluff or anything like that. You're going to give enough value to them to gain key takeaways and even implement some of the things that you taught them, but not enough to do everything on their own, or else there's no point in you having a product. So it's giving them enough to know that you are a source of authority, you know what you're talking about, you establish trust, but you're not just giving everything away for free because nobody does that on the internet. Okay, and once you've done that, you can CTA your product, your service, and you want to combine that with heavy social proof and testimonials, right? You're not Iman Gadzhi. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the action steps of what I mean by that. but you need to establish trust because you're not a known figure in the space yet, right? Take me, for example. I have 700 subscribers. You've probably never seen me before. You don't know my story. You don't know my background. So I have to show you and prove to you that I know what I'm talking about, that I have the results before you even consider buying a high ticket product from me. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Now, for all of these YouTube videos you create, you always want to be sending the traffic to bottom of funnel. And I do this by creating a CTA and then adding a link in the description of each video, right? So for me, it's a link to my landing page for people that are ready to start or scale their coaching offer to 20 to 40K a month. So the key takeaways for the middle of funnel are just to create a micro niche environment. Do not go broad. Do not go for virality. You're going for nurturing for your specific ICP, value, no fluff, and a ton of social proof to establish trust. So now that you've got the top of funnel as your short form and the middle of funnel as your long form, we need to talk about where they land, which is bottom of funnel or your landing page. So this is my bottom of funnel. This is my landing page. I host it in ClickFunnels. Doesn't really matter where you make your landing page, but what is important is the layout, which I'm going to break down real quick for you guys. So the layout I use in my website is call out to ICP so they know who I want, who I'm talking to, so that anyone that doesn't belong just clicks off the page. We're then going to establish a clear desired outcome of the service. What do these people want and what am I going to deliver? Then we're going to handle basic objections. Anything that's very common, you want to take the top 1 to 2 that you hear the most and handle that objection within your sub headline. Then create a very straightforward, to the point VSL. You don't want to waste anyone's time, just like with YouTube. No fluff, get to the point. They will respect it and it will be higher converting. After that VSL, you can either do a book call or application. Either way, for me personally, I do booked calls. But strangely enough, for most of my clients, I run application funnels. So whatever works best for you. And then obviously you want to flood with a ton of testimonials, any social proof you can get. Again, just establishing more trust with your audience. Now that's not it though, okay? It's not just a basic landing page. We need to cover what someone goes through after they book a call. And what I like to do is have a pre-call email sequence, FAQ videos, a personal voice memo sent to the lead after they book a call. And that's just to confirm the call, make sure they know that it's not an AI talking to them, it's really you, and make sure they show up, make sure they've watched the pre-call resources. And I even redirect my leads back to my YouTube video for even more nurturing. So if you followed along so far, we've gone over the 3-part funnel breakdown. You know how to create the short form, long form, and then the landing page basics to convert those leads that you've nurtured into paying high ticket customers. Now, let's go over some immediate action steps that you can take to set this in place, because what I've talked about is useful, but it's a little broad. So let's get into exactly what you can do today to make progress on these things. Now, the very first thing you have to do is establish who you even want to target. It's very important to establish before anything else, because if you don't, you're going to waste time filming content, posting videos that don't get you to your end goal. Now, remember what we talked about before with Dream Follower and ICP. Your dream follower should be broad, overarching industry, and the ICP should be the specific, smaller group you want to sell to inside of this overarching industry. Now, I already gave you this example, but remember, my dream follower would be business owners, and the ICP is business owners who also post content and want to create a coaching program that's high ticket. Once you've established your dream follower and ICP, it's time to create some top of funnel content. And how to use step 1 in action, we're going to use top of funnel content, which is Instagram, TikTok, short form like that, to attract your dream follower with relatable content, personal stories, value-based content, and viral content. This is the mix that I was talking about earlier in the video that we're going to go over so you can have a good plan of what to post, when to post, and how much of it to actually post. Now, a great person to use as an example that I'm sure you have seen before is Brez himself. They run a coaching agency that does over $1 million a month, and I'm going to break down his short form content strategies quickly so that you can copy to a degree what he does for your industry. The first type of videos he posts are the ones that are made to go viral. He lives a very viral lifestyle. Miami, tons of cars, high rises. He now lives in a mansion and he's surrounded by other millionaires. So it's easy for him to make this content. But again, like I said here, you're going to use cars, high rises, jokes are a good one, and then POV captions. So like POV, you made it, and then you flexing cars, flexing whatever it may be. Let me be clear. It doesn't just have to be flexing, okay? It's just content that is made to go viral. And in my niche, at least, the flexing type of videos perform the best for that. Another avenue you'll want to take is content made for inspiration, okay? You can take this podcast clip as an example. Brez is talking as a guest on someone's podcast and just giving some motivation and some insight into his journey and his story. These can be podcast clips, story times, flashy edits. The biggest thing here is having people know your story, your background, who you are. It establishes a sense of trust and just a sense of understanding for who you are. If you just post educational content, that will get you somewhere, but you will scale much easier if the leads know who you are and feel a personal connection to you. And then the last type of content I want to talk about is just educational content. Very classic one. We already covered that. But this one you can see here, he's talking about the Meta Ads library, talking heads, screen recordings, Miro boards like the one I'm filming now. Just anything that's educational, has a ton of sauce, and is meant to nurture your audience to take the next steps with you. And I just wrote a quick disclaimer just to be clear. Using one of these content styles for top of funnel, it can work. Don't get me wrong, it can work, but mixing them all to attract your dream follower is the best and fastest way to grow a personal brand that you can heavily monetize, not just go viral with. You see, if you were to just post these viral type of contents, which trust me, I see all the time, you'll get a lot of followers, you'll get a lot of views, you'll get a lot of DMs, but they're not going to be qualified. They're not going to be nurtured. And they're not going to want to buy a $3, $5, $10,000 program from you. So now you have your dream follower ICP established and you've started working on top of funnel content. Well, now obviously you need to get that middle of funnel looking good. So let's build your micro niched YouTube channel. Content style is completely up to you, but here are some non-negotiables if you want to convert views into money. The first is no fluff, cut straight to the chase. People don't want to stick around if you're wasting their time. You notice in my videos, I don't have any time where I'm not talking, and I don't go off topic because I know that you take your time seriously. You're a business person, and so do I. So I'm not going to waste your time. Don't waste your audience's time either. You aren't Iman Gadzhi, don't try to be. Now, I mentioned this earlier in the video, but let me clarify what I mean by that. You don't have the following or the personal brand that Iman Gadzhi now does. Look back to when he first started posting videos, and you'll see that they are completely different than the ones he posts now. Don't make these talking head videos where you're talking out of camera with flashy edits like you know what you're talking about without backing it up, without having social proof, or without an extensive Miro board like this that proves you know what you're doing throughout the video. That's something I see a lot of new creators mess up with. They try to make talking head videos because it's the viral style that's going around, but they don't understand that it's only viral with content creators that have already established a massive personal brand. So when they try to replicate it, they don't get any conversions. They don't even get any booked calls because these people don't take them seriously the way that they take someone like Iman seriously. The next thing is something I already established, but I need to reiterate, and that's just to not go broad with your videos. Go for niche down value videos, not viral hits, okay? Because that's what's going to convert into high ticket money. And then lastly, as I said, you need to provide social proof and testimonials because people don't know who you are yet. So you have to back it up with screenshots, with stories, with testimonials with your clients, whatever it may be. And so for my go-to style of videos, I do Miro breakdown videos, like the one you're watching right now. I do want to mix it up in the future, and I recommend that you don't just do one style every single time you post, but find your go-to, find something you're comfortable with, and a good way of sharing your knowledge, and just stick to it for the most part, because that's the way you can stay consistent, and that's the way that you can build a following that is nurtured and has something predictable to watch every video. For my breakdown videos specifically, I try to keep them value dense, zero fluff, face cam on, because it just adds to that trust factor. You're watching me, you know my face, and that's going to make you more likely to buy. It's just psychology. And then obviously social proof and CTA is very important as well. And then we already covered this, but obviously just having something in the description to send your clients to bottom of funnel with whatever landing page you create. Let's get into the fourth and final step, which is creating your bottom of funnel conversion system. Let's start with the front end conversion MVP checklist. I call this MVP because this is something you'll want to build out over time, add sections to, fix bottlenecks, whatever it may be. But the MVP, the minimal viable product that you start with today, should have the following. It should have a landing page design, okay? Don't make it super basic. I personally use ClickFunnels and I custom code them using AI. Very simple, something you can easily learn. Landing page copy. Base the copy around your established ICP. Okay, so don't talk to your dream follower, don't talk to someone else, talk directly to your ICP. You should have a good understanding of them, what they talk like, what they desire, and so you need to base the copy around them. You're going to do VSL creation. As I said, be direct, keep it short, and have a clear call out and pitch at the end. You're then going to have a CTA, either an application form or a calendar embed. Like I said, it depends on your lead flow, it depends on your lead quality. But either way, you need a clear CTA and a clear path for the leads to take in order to take next steps with you. Lastly, you're going to add testimonials, which is just a mix of videos and picture testimonials, as well as try to mix up the results. And what I mean by that is within your ICP, there's going to be different types of characters, right? Maybe one that's at $0 a month, and there's one that's at $10,000 a month. You want testimonials that match each person. So if you have one testimonial of someone starting from zero and scaling to 20K a month with whatever it may be, then that's great for that lead that is at zero, right? But for the person that's at 10K, that testimonial isn't going to be very relatable because they've already taken the steps from 0 to 10K and they need help going from 10 to 50. So if you can mix up the testimonials and have a mix of higher end ones, lower end ones, just different demographics, it's going to help you a lot. Now, moving on to the back end conversion checklist, this is what I see everybody mess up on, okay? Listen close. This is going to be the most valuable. First of all, you need to have a pre-call page that people get automatically redirected to after they apply or book a call, whatever that next step is. This is going to include a pre-call video, FAQ videos, and testimonials. So you can see mine here. This is just one screenshot from it, but I have FAQ videos, and I think I have like 7 of them, answering some of the most common questions. Now, why is this important and why do we do it? Well, people buy off of information. And if someone doesn't have the full story, if they don't have all of their questions answered, they will never buy from you, especially when it's high ticket. So, in order to combat this, we make sure they come fully educated on the offer, on you, on anything that they're going to ask. So, what you can do to build out these FAQ questions is take a couple sales calls, talk to people, figure out what they ask and what everybody is asking the most common, and then turn them into 30-second to 2-minute FAQ videos that answer those questions before they ever get on the call with you. After you've built out your pre-call page, you need some pre-call emails. And what I do is I send up to 4 emails a day leading up to the call. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, if someone is a warm lead or you need to warm them up even more, up to 4 emails is going to be super valuable. And the basics of this is just nurturing, you're prepping them for the call, forcing testimonials to them, and then obviously answering any questions, making sure that they come fully educated with that information. So your pre-call emails can be scattered with extra YouTube videos, testimonials, personal stories so they get to know you even better. Just really, really nurture them before. And then lastly, I do the voice memo text message. So once someone books on my calendar, I'm going to personally send them a voice memo, just confirming the call, making sure they're going to show up, and telling them to watch these pre-call assets beforehand so that they make sure to do it. Something I do is non-negotiable. They have to watch the assets before joining the call. If they don't, I'm going to reschedule because they just don't have the information necessary to close. So there you go. There's 4 immediate action steps to take to build out your 3-step conversion funnel, which includes your top of funnel, short form content, middle of funnel, long form, and then obviously your bottom of funnel landing page. Now, I just want to leave you with this note. To be honest, content isn't the hard part. What we covered with your top and middle of funnel in the grand scheme of things is very simple. It takes time, it takes practice, but you can do it really without any help. The hard part, unfortunately, is creating a conversion system that actually converts. Anyone can throw together a simple landing page, film a quick video, and call it quits. But creating something that actually converts at a high level, especially for high ticket, is not simple. It takes time and it takes a lot of trial and error. So if you don't want to waste your time doing that trial and error, if you don't want to let leads slip through the cracks in the meantime, and if you want a done for you system that leads to dashboards that look like these, right? 165K, 52,000 in monthly recurring revenue, 165 grand here as well for a different offer. And then obviously that's 76K. Click the link below and book a one-on-one call directly with me. And I just want to be clear, this is not cheap. These systems are not simple. They are strenuous. You get a lot out of it. High ticket, mid ticket landing pages, 9+ email sequences, a ton of automations, backend sales team dashboards, CRM system build out, and SOPs for the entire thing. So it's not a simple build out. It's not a cheap price. If you are serious about this and if you want to scale to 20,000, 40,000, even more per month with your coaching offer, click the link below. Watch the quick video that explains exactly what I do and book a call with me and we'll talk directly.